Hey lovers, it's Mecki from Match by Mecki, and today I am back with another Bachelorette recap. Some of you may have not gotten a chance to watch it this week, so don't you worry. I am here and I'm going to let you know everything you need to know about this week's episode, which was episode 4. Stranger, it's been a minute since we last kicked. By the way, just got in town. Okay, so starting off this week, the guys are officially out of California. They went to Washington. So they're starting to travel, which is great. That's always the exciting part for me when it comes to this series or franchise. Yeah, franchise. So this week they're finally traveling. Doughton, my guy Doughton, who is the front runner in my book, got the first one-on-one, and they went on a bridge, like skydiving. Or it's not skydiving if you're on a bridge. They went bungee jumping, and they looked so terrified. I was like, who's choosing these dates? This is always my question. Who chooses the performers? Who chooses the dates? Charity was crying. Doughton was terrified, and I'm gonna insert a picture because I'm like, who set them up for this? Like, what is going on? Um, but yeah, basically they went bungee jumping. Back at the house, Brayden was talking to Xavier about Aaron. Aaron was talking to Joey about Brayden. So their little beef is still going on. No shocker there. Um, but yeah, back to the date that, they be going back and forth. So I got to go back and forth when I'm telling y'all what happened. Okay, but they jumped off the bridge. And I was like, who? So I don't want to say that people who decide to jump off bridges, like that there's something wrong with them, but it's just like, I need someone. If you've ever jumped off a bridge, comment below and let me know what made you want to jump off of a bridge. I feel like those things kind of condition people to do some wild and crazy shit. So I'm just like, why are y'all whatever. Okay, I digress. So they jumped off the bridge the first time. It was cute because they were holding on to each other. And then after they did it, they were like, let's do it again. And I'm just like, are y'all sure y'all want to do this again? Like, but the second time, they actually seemed like they enjoyed it. They were ready to go. And so I was like, okay, well, this may be like a message that even though sometimes things can seem scary, which I still wouldn't be jumping off of a bridge, doing bungee jumping, but it could push people past their comfort zone in other ways to do more safer things, but still not safe. Like basically just take risk. Maybe it's like for the adrenaline or just to prove to yourself that you can do something. But that was their date. Later on in the date, Doughton and Charity, they both just kind of talked about their childhood. And to me, it is kind of boring, but you can see their chemistry there. And I think having those talks about, your childhood and pivotal moments in your upbringing, I think those things are important to kind of learn the history of each other, because in a few weeks they will, or whoever she chooses will be getting engaged. And it's like you kind of do want to know about the person that you're engaged to. So it makes sense for them to be sharing. Charity talked about her upbringing. Doughton talked about coming to America. Um, and at the end of the night, Doughton got the rose. So no shocker there. Next up, there was the group date. And they basically had a date in the woods. They had some sassy little scouts, and those scouts were called, I think, Scamania scouts, but they were these cute three little girls. And they were trying, one of them was doing a really good job keeping a straight face. They were trying to be tough on the guys, like telling them their challenge was to go into the woods, find some food to bring back for them and for Charity, and then the winner would win some time with Charity at the kissing booth. So that was cute. They did the little KISSING song, and I was like, oh, I remember when I was a kid. And I definitely, kissing is gross to me. I feel like I've said that to you guys before, but kissing is just like the most she was getting. I think I was traumatized because this boy who was my boyfriend in elementary school, they said he always had ketchup at the roof of his mouth. And so since then, that's when I realized like kissing is gross. And I don't think he had ketchup at the roof of his mouth, but even now I'm cringing just thinking about it. Okay, back to the date. They also asked, a bunch of hypothetical questions. One of the questions the little girls asked the guys was if you had to eat someone out of this group to survive, who would you choose? Everyone chose Brayden. Like, I think Brayden was getting on most of the guys' nerves during the date because he was being loud and just like, of course, you should be having fun, but he just wasn't really taking it serious at all. Again, no shocker. We are talking about Brayden. But yeah, all of them chose Brayden, and Charity was kind of like, whoa, like, I think she was starting to take notes. So shout out to her for paying attention to what the guys are saying and what they're trying to tell her without actually telling her, you know? So yeah, the girls chose Aaron as the winner of the group date to go to the kissing booth with Charity. And then later that night, all the guys are sitting around talking while they were waiting on Charity. Aaron ended up telling Brayden that he feels he was wasting Charity's time because, again, Brayden is always complaining about, Charity's time with all the other guys. He threatens to pack up his stuff. And so as the guys are all talking, they can Charity walks in and she can feel that it's heated in the room. She's like, okay, what's the discussion, like what's going on? And so all the guys basically, or most of the guys basically, let her know like how they feel about Brayden, and this is no news to her, so she's not shocked. But she does pull Brayden to the side to say like, okay, well, what's going on? How do you feel? He told her, that he did pack up his stuff twice, and she asked him like, okay, well, do you want to be here or what's going on? And he said that although he does really like her, he does feel like this process isn't for him. And I commend that. Like, he does seem like a pretty honest guy, and a lot of times you don't really know what you would do in the situation until you're actually in it. So even though I did say last week, like, Brady, you knew what you were signing up for, I feel like maybe he had an idea, but once you're actually in it, the level of intensity is completely different. Long story short, she did end up walking him out because, I mean, basically he said the process wasn't for him. So, I mean, if the process isn't processing, then it's time for you to go. So, Brayden left for now. Who got that group date rose? Joey. Joey got the group date rose. I think Joey got the rose. I didn't write that down, but I'm pretty sure Joey got the group date rose. Out of all the people remaining at this current point in time, my strongest picks for Charity are Doughton and Joey. So we will see if I'm right in a couple of weeks. Last, there was another one-on-one date. It was the last one-on-one date for the evening, or for the episode. This one was between Xavier and Charity, of course, Charity. Charity's concerns were that Xavier reminds her of her ex, and I feel like I've definitely been there, and you should pay attention to those signs. But it's also, you don't want to paint that person as your ex. Like, let them prove that they're not your ex. And during their date, he ended up basically letting her know, like, he is a loyal guy. I think Charity's ex ended up cheating on her or something in the past, and so she was concerned about that. Oh, their date was to a fruit festival, like a town fruit festival. So they were picking fruit, I guess. Like, I don't know. They stepped in this thing. Maybe they were making wine too. But yeah, it was just like a little whatever date around the town. And yeah, she basically was letting the confessional know that he does remind her of her ex, and that was concerning to her. He is some sort of like science person. I'll be getting everybody's jobs wrong, but he's into science. That's a fact. And then he also was telling her how his mom has a medical condition, and that's what he is training himself to be, like a doctor that can basically cure, whatever it is in a way that he can help his mom. That's what his goal is. So that's bomb. Like, I love when people have a passion behind what they're doing, a reason for what they're doing, and then that way like they really do care about it. So I'm glad that he is working towards something to find like a cure for his mom and also to be a help for other people. So that was their date. He ended up, basically changing her view on him, and he got the rose. So shout out to Xavier. He's still not in my top, but he got a rose. Maybe I'm putting him in top 4. I don't know who's in the third spot yet, but he's in top 4 for me. Last but not least, there was a cocktail party. Okay, everyone at the party was good vibes, being very mature. Like I said, Brayden was gone. He left. So all the guys are sitting around. Charity's talking to, the guys, getting to, help make her final decision. Then here comes Brayden. Brayden, what are you doing? You told Charity this process was not for you yesterday or 2 days ago. Why are you back today? He just walks past the guys. Charity's in there talking to John, which I feel like John may be my number 3, but I'm not sure. Charity's in there talking to John. They're kissing. Here's Brayden staring. Should have took a picture so that I could have inserted it, but I didn't. So I'll just insert a picture of Brayden. Brayden, you are not a part of this process anymore. Let her choose between the men that are still here fighting for her. But he said, you know what? I just want to come in and apologize for the way that our conversation went. And I guess he didn't want to seem like the bad guy. I feel like Brayden at this point is just doing stuff for extra. Like, where are the producers are fine with it because they want a little shaking of the table. But it's just like, Brayden, you are gone. Okay. But basically he just wanted to apologize to her, and then they have their little talk, which is definitely unfair to the guys who are remaining because some of them didn't even get a chance to talk to her. He cut John's time with her. Oh, you know what? John's not in my top 3. He's not the third spot, and I'm gonna tell y'all why in a second. So he took away time from them, and when Brayden was leaving, Aaron stopped him and was like, or he followed him outside and basically let him know how he felt. They got into their little argument. The other guys were out there. And I'm looking like, well, who is spending time with Charity? This is time that y'all could be spending with Charity instead of being out here worrying about Brayden, who is getting in his van and about to leave. But ultimately, John said that he wanted to finish his conversation since it was cut short. Then here comes Jesse, like, okay guys, the cocktail party is over, we're time for the rose ceremony. Ultimately, 3 guys went home. It was Caleb the wrestler, Michael, Michael, he was easy on the eye, so he'll be fun to look at in Paradise, or not to look at, but fun to see if he finds a match in Paradise. And then it was also John, who I'm talking about is in my top 3. No, he not, because John went home. And so, yes, y'all. Yes, that was my recap on episode 4, season 20 of The Bachelorette. Let me know if you guys watch. Let me know who should be the third person. So I have Doughton, Joey, somebody, and then who did I say? Oh, Xavier. Who should be in that third spot? Comment below. Let me know. Let me know if you guys are still tuned in to The Bachelorette. And exciting news. There is the Golden Bachelor starting this fall. And so I want to see what their dates are because I know them older, seasoned people. The Golden Bachelor is an older man. I don't know how old he is. Here's his picture. But I know they're not going to be bungee jumping and skydiving. I'm thinking it's going to be lots of bingo. Hopefully they prove me wrong. But yeah, let me know if you guys will be tuning into that. Thanks for watching my recap. Make sure you guys like this video, share it with a friend, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next week with another recap.